What's up, everyone? D Dot here, and I have a new video that I'm putting out and see what you guys think. What I'm trying to do is I want to take one of my Clanmate's decks. I want to run in a challenge, see how well it'll do, and see if there's any tips or pointers or any suggestions that I can give and see how well if you guys like this type of thing or whatnot. So, out of my clan list, I chose somebody that was within Arena 10 and that hasn't hit Legendary Arena yet. So I went down the list, and first one that popped up here. So I copied their deck and I checked out some of its flaws or its strengths and whatnot, and see what this deck is trying to do and see what we can improve on. So, when I'm looking at this, it's a E-Barb type of defensive deck, and you have your Tombstone as your building, Executioner for your splash, Mega Minion and Archers for your air defense, Ice Golem for your pseudo tank, Fireball for your damage spell, and Log for your second spell. So I took it out for a few replays and saw some of the things that I had trouble with and whatnot. So we'll jump into those replays, and then I'll see you guys right over there. Alright, you guys. So I took this deck into a classic challenge and wanted to see how well it would do. And this is my first match with it. So I'm looking at the starting hand, and I have Tombstone. So I decided to drop that down when they have the Hog Rider. The thing is with Tombstone is that even though you have a building to pull the hog, it'll still get a swing on the tower, as opposed to, say, like the cannon. So that's one of the drawbacks for using Tombstone to pull the Hog Rider. So I'm still trying to figure out what he's trying to do, and I'm seeing what he's playing, and I was thinking it's the 2.6 or 2.8 Hog deck, seeing as how he's able to cycle very quickly, and he's still putting the pressure on me. So my win condition in this deck is Elite Barbarians, and having that single win condition, it's a little difficult, especially in this meta where there's basically anything pulls the Elite Barbarians. So it makes it really difficult to get damage on the tower. As you can see, one thing with the Tombstone is that not only it gets taken out within 2 swings from the hog, if they do a predictive log, it'll take down the skeletons. So the Hog Rider will get about 2 or 3 swings on your tower. So we reset here, and since it's double elixir time, our opponent's going to be able to start using the Fireball in his pushes. So I have a mini push coming on with the Archers and Executioner. So he drops NATO, and that stops that push. So good defense by our opponent. Here comes the counter push. And that was a decent defense on our part. So I was thinking that he probably overextended on himself. But now, as you can see, as I drop the E-Barbs, there's just so many ways of dealing with the Elite Barbarians that I didn't even get not even a single hit on the tower. And the thing with this cycle deck, that our opponent is running is that it's chip damage throughout the entire game until it hits double elixir. All right, so good game. Now that I had a feel for the deck, I wanted to swap out some cards and see if I can figure out if there's a better combination, at least to keep the core cards that he's running in the deck, because he may not have all these cards that I have. So, that being said, I swapped out the cards, and this is the deck that I was able to come up with. It's a dual win condition, so you have Graveyard and Elite Barbarians. Graveyard will be your main win condition with E-Barbs as your second. You have Inferno Tower for your defense. You need that DPS. Excuse me. You need that DPS. Mega Minion and Ice Golem are the same because they pair very well as a mini tank for Graveyard. Yeah, Poison instead of Fireball, because Poison will be able to help the E-Barbs out a little bit if they're trying to defend with Skeleton Army. Or, as you guys know, that Poison synergizes very well with Graveyard. So that's why I decided to choose that spell over Fireball. As you can see here, Inferno Tower helped out very well. Now our opponent has 2 pumps down on us. However, I go in for Graveyard here instead of using Poison, hoping to get some skeletons to hit that elixir pump. And lucky for us that they do. And we get good damage on the left side of the tower. So we reset here, and we know that he's running a Golem deck. However, I don't know if he's running Lightning or Fireball. So our opponent is building up a push in the back as we start to pressure the other lane. He puts 8 in one, and we put 7 in the other. Excuse me. And he decides to let that go, at the same time trying to get 3 crowned. I put the Inferno Tower in the anti-lightning placement, and he opts to use E-Wiz instead. So I dropped the Ice Golem right there to take the hits from the E-Wizard, so it won't be able to reset my Inferno Tower. So I drop E-Barbs on defense, and he drops it on offense. We both log knowing that the one that gets the most damage in that confrontation is the one that's going to win it. So, good defense on our part. And this is going to be his last push. So all we have to do is defend this last push, and we'll be able to take the game. I dropped Graveyard down. This is one of the few times where dropping Graveyard on defense makes sense, because skeletons do a lot of damage per skeleton. They have the highest DPS of the troops within the entire game. So that was a successful defense on our part. And as the time ticks down, we take that game with the 1-0 victory. Now the difference with this deck and the original deck is I was able to not only have a second win condition, but the original win condition, the E-Barbs, I was able to use that on defense and offense at the same time, giving me the flexibility that I needed that I did not have in the original deck. So, within this next replay, and our final replay for this deck, I drop Ice Spirit at the bridge. If you guys don't know, instead of dropping Ice Spirit in the back, if the level of your Ice Spirit is the same level as the tower, you can drop the Ice Spirit at the bridge, and you'll be able to deal roughly 100 to 110 chip damage to the opponent's tower. And sometimes that small amount of damage is very important. So our opponent used Lightning when we dropped Ice Golem and Mega Minion at the beginning, and dropped the pre-planted Inferno and Knight. So I thought that they overextended there when I dropped Graveyard. However, they had Tornado, so Tornado plus Inferno Tower took down that E-Barb push that I had. And in response to that, they dropped Hog Rider, and now I go in for the counter push with Mega Minion and Graveyard. And they defend with Wizard And Wizard's not a bad card. It's just Lightning is so dominant. That's the only reason why you don't see Wizard too much. But overall, Wizard's not a bad card. So we reset here. That log was a bad log on my part. I should have placed it one tile to the left to clip the Wizard to the right instead of pushing it forward, and it wouldn't have got 2 shots like it did. So they pre-planted Inferno there. Instead of dropping the troop, all I do is I'm going to poison the tower and the Inferno tower. The only time when dropping pre-planting an Inferno tower makes sense is if they already have their tank on the board and it's coming past their tower. That's the only time you want to pre-plant an Inferno tower. Aside from that, it's a bad move to do. So now we have a bigger counter push coming with Graveyard E-Barbs and Ice Golem. And our opponent dropped Tornado with the Wizard. And that was a good defense until the Wizard retargeted onto the Skeletons. So now our opponent knows that there's only 30 seconds left and he has to get damage on the tower. And at my tower at 412 health, I know that I need to start pressuring our opponent. Otherwise, if he does take that tower, we're going to be even in going into overtime. So I go in with a Graveyard E-Barb push, and our opponent has to respond to it. And since he did not have enough elixir to drop Lightning on the other tower. So good game to our opponent with the 1-0 victory. So you guys, with the deck revision from deck 1, the original deck that I took from my clanmate, and the one that I revised, I tried a lot of different combinations with the original deck because I wanted to keep most of the cards in there. And I tried using E-Barbs as a defensive troop. When it's going against a Golem deck, all the support troops take down the Elite Barbarians by the time they finish the Golem. I tried a cycle deck with the E-Barbs. 6 elixir is way more costly than 4 for a Hog deck. I've tried it in a Golem deck, the original Golem deck with E-Barbs. I had some success with that. The E-Barb version of a Golem deck is outdated compared to Baby Dragon and E-Wiz. And I tried an Executioner with Tornado. That was okay, but going on to a counter push with the E-Barbs wasn't very good. They would play Knight on the Executioner while they take down the tank or the Elite Barbarians up front. So with a lot of playtesting and a lot of time that I went into trying to understand the deck and what I can do to make it better, this is the final product that I figured that I came up with. You're able to try this deck out and see if it works a little better for you. And I hope my analysis and my tips and at least help you get up to that legendary arena. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you guys think of this video series, and if you guys want me to do more of these, where if you guys submit your deck, or really if you want me to check out your deck or whatnot, stop by at our clan. I'll be doing this for my clanmates, so if you guys want to have your deck checked out and some tips or some opinions from me, just stop by and let me know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.